Hey everyone, I just created a video and a video on the butterfly effect, and it's already up on the channel and you can check it out. The butterfly effect comes from this idea of chaos theory that suggests that, could it be that a butterfly flapping its wings on one side of the world can cause a chain reaction of events that leads to a tsunami on the other side? The butterfly effect is about the idea that small causes and small actions can actually have big consequences. And it's hard to kind of figure this out. But I created that video, and you can go check out that whole video if you want. But here's what I want to talk about instead in this video is I want to tie that to a recent event, namely Cracker Barrel. So this is one that I find really fascinating. Now, I bring up Cracker Barrel because it's a heated issue. It's a heated topic that many people will talk about, and they have different kind of political stances and interpretations of exactly what was happening with Cracker Barrel or not. But when you when you look at it, there's also a lesson that can be learned from this, which is I'm guessing that the person in charge who made these decisions and who made the final decision and supported whatever was recommended to the leader, or maybe the leader made the decision directly. I'm not sure exactly how the decision came forward, but when they got rid of the barrel and the man in the logo for Cracker Barrel, and they just went with this simple view and all, it caused a chain reaction, right? It's happening in a political and a social landscape. There's all sorts of context that's involved, and some people would say, well, you should have known that people would have reacted the way that they did, and they might consider it just be bad leadership and bad decision making. And I will tell you, though, that that is not how it looks when you're in the seat as a leader. And it's not how it looks for you when you're making all of your decisions in life and when you're trying to solve problems. I guarantee you that you have made Cracker Barrel-like decisions in your life. You've gotten rid of the man and the barrel from the logo and had no idea that you were going to get the chain reaction of responses that you did. And you may insist, no, that would never happen to me. I'm not that kind of person. I know things better. I understand the situations better. I'm far smarter and wiser. But I am telling you, I don't care what your IQ is or how wise you are. We all make those kinds of decisions at times. Now, if you want to learn about how we can try to better understand and decrease the chance of making those decisions, go check out that other video that I have that's about the butterfly effect. But even if you don't want to check that out, my point here is an invitation for a little measure of humility. Now, you can have your strong opinions about Cracker Barrel or not, but consider that there's something that you and I can learn from this scenario in our own lives, in our families, in our workplaces, when we're in the middle of gameplay and we're making decisions and we're working with teammates and collaborators. We will make decisions that miss key information, that don't take into account the context and all the different audiences and the parties involved. And it can have an impact. So I always think that when we look at these public figures and who are leaders of organizations, we expect somehow that they're going to be superheroes and that they're not going to make those flaws. And of course, when you're making really multi-million-dollar decisions that have multi-million-dollar implications, you absolutely want to test things out. You want to do some market research. You want to run it past different focus groups and get feedback. And I'm guessing they did some measure of that as well. And somehow their data came forward suggesting that it was a potentially good move for them. And yet, you don't always know how things are going to play out. You can't predict every factor. That's the whole point, as I mentioned, that's a whole point. One component of the butterfly effect is a butterfly flapping its wings on one side of the world, causing a chain reaction of events that cause a tsunami on the other side. How in the world could you predict that with mathematical certainty? And you may say, well, this is nothing like that. I don't know. Maybe it is a little bit more like that than we realize. It is hard. It is incredibly hard sometimes for us to be able to predict how our words and our actions, and even what we think are our great decisions, are going to affect other people. And it's also interesting to remember that there are always logical fallacies and cognitive biases at work in each and every one of us, which is why I have this channel. That's a big part of this channel, is why I have all these different videos on logical biases. For example, think about the IKEA effect and whether or not that might be at play with the Cracker Barrel incident. The IKEA effect, if you go back and check out that video, is this idea that if you build something, you take more pride in it than if someone else built the exact same thing. So 2 tables from IKEA, you built one, someone else built the other, and you are more attached to the one that you built. You actually see it in a better light oftentimes. That's one of the cognitive biases that we run into, when in fact maybe the other one is sturdier, or it was built a little bit better, or maybe they're pretty much equal in their quality, and yet you are attached to the idea because it was yours. Or if you go through, I guarantee if you go through my videos on the cognitive biases and just kind of scan, you will see that there were like 2, 3, 4, 5 cognitive biases that were likely to have played a role in the Cracker Barrel incident as it happened. And as I've noted before, I don't create these videos on logical fallacies and cognitive biases because I have it all figured out, because I'm somehow this perfect, clear thinker, world-class, best in the world problem solver and decision maker and literal and metaphorical treasure hunter. I share these videos because they're lessons that I learned that help me get a little bit better. Doesn't mean that I don't still make the mistakes and I don't fall into them, because we all fall into the traps of cognitive biases. We all make logical fallacies at times. And so it calls for a measure of humility to realize that you and I, we are making Cracker Barrel branding decisions that are not that different from what we just saw. Maybe in smaller ways, smaller risks in our own lives, but we have done that, and we probably haven't even always noticed it at the time. Or maybe we even attributed the blame to someone else or something else like that, and we rationalized it away. And so it's good for us to take some time to be a little humble, to learn from this, and use it as a reminder about the merit of learning about cognitive biases and logical fallacies and getting a little bit better at making decisions, clear thinking, solving problems, pursuing promising possibilities. Hope you find this useful. I look forward to your comments. Something tells me I might get a few more comments on this video than others because it's a little bit more heated topic, but we'll see.